Boruto episode 63, Sasuke's Secret Weapon. So after our little hiatus, our little week-long break, we come back to this episode and it's exactly what I said in my last review. It was the talkie episode, not much really happened. It was the emotional reflection of Boruto after everything, went like crazy, super chaotic. We have him kind of realizing that he wants to kind of know more than his father's weaknesses, which they explain like towards the end of the episode with Sasuke, where it's like, okay, you're starting to understand how great your father, really is as a person. And even though you've had your differences with him and the issues of him not being around because he's protecting the village and you feel like, he's protecting the village versus his actual family, they start to, dive deeper into that, which of course is admittedly one of the best proponents of the Boruto character, is him realizing, that he can actually like his dad. So they're getting into some more of those elements and him worrying about, what happened to dad, him waking up in the hospital, talking with Sada, learning about Mitsuki being in like critical condition and stuff, and talking about or finding out that his mom is in the hospital too because Hinata went to try to save Naruto and stuff like that. So that was cool. All of that, once again, most of the stuff, pretty much all of this was in the film. I think the only couple of moments that were different was the stuff with Mitsuki. I can't remember if he was in the hospital with him, like talking to Boruto with Sada, or if he just wasn't there and they said like, oh, he was hurt too. But I don't believe, it wasn't specific, like, because the guy who obviously took like his chakra out, that guy didn't exist in the movie. So I think Mitsuki was actually there. They were both telling him what happened. So I think that was a bit different. I think the stuff with Hinata was exactly the same, and Himawari being there, Sakura being there, and then the stuff with Shikadai was a little different because I don't think the stuff with Inojin was really there. They didn't go into that as much, like, them having those issues and things like that. I think the resolution at the end was still in there, but it was like that little scene where like Boruto was already gone. That extra scene with like Inojin and Chocho talking, I don't think existed in the movie, so that was there. The stuff with all the other Kage coming in, all that stuff. I believe all that stuff was brand new, which is interesting. It's crazy to think that, but I'm pretty sure none of them fought in the movie. I really don't think any of them fought in the movie, which now that I think about that, is like, that doesn't make any sense. It's the weirdest thing. Even though only one village was technically attacked, it's like, that does seem weird to me now that I really think about that idea. I don't think they all went. I could be wrong because, like I say that every time, like, I always forget. But it's like, man, they all went in, and I remember how it ends. It's like, yeah, I don't think they really did much, in the movie. And they'll probably explain it out this time with multiple villains. And, excuse me, that may have been how it was in the film too. But I'm just like, man, I really don't remember them going along. I remember there being an issue with Boruto leaving, with people talking to Sasuke, like, you can't be serious about taking him and stuff. I just don't remember if it was the exact same characters. And I feel like it happened not in Naruto's office, but I feel like that happened when they got to the portal. So I think it was like Konohamaru was the one talking about, like, you can't be serious, you're actually going to take him. And then, talking with Hinata and her, having the, kind of giving the go ahead, like, this is what you feel like you need to do. And them kind of doing that process. So I feel like they just changed it a little bit. But it was definitely cool. It was the emotional episode. It was exactly what I said it was going to be. It was like, it was the talkie episode after the crazy, set piece moment. It was the talkie reflective episode. Still decent. I really enjoyed it. Early on, especially, it was probably my favorite part where they were doing the flashbacks and they were playing that music again. I was like, man, they're invoking some of the old music of the original Naruto series. So I love that for sure. And I was like, some of these notes, it seems like it's just like a new beginning to some of like the original Naruto songs. Like, Shippuden didn't even use the original Naruto songs except for like maybe a couple of very rare moments. But for the most part, Shippuden had its own music as well. But this seemed to harken back to like the original Naruto's music. So I was like, that, I really loved that. And they did that in the episode before too. But I was like, okay, simple episode. I knew this is exactly what it was going to be. So it kind of sucks that, we had to wait, because if this episode did come out last week, then we'd be watching, obviously, the next episode, which I'm assuming, based on the promo, and especially knowing the movie, is going to go right back into the action. Because fortunately, they did all of it in one episode with all the reflection. And then, by the end, they're going through the portal to get to the villains. So I was like, well, that's cool. I'm glad it didn't last, for 2 episodes of, reflection and talking and people being sad and everything being all left up. And I was like, all right, sad, reflective, let's get back on the grind. Boruto realizing that he has to do more and, that he can try to be what his father is. But I was like, all right, I'm glad it was all said and done in the one episode, which I figured it would be. And now it's like, all right, back to the cool action thing. And it's, considering where they are, like, this is the end of the movie. hopefully they don't rush it, especially considering they have new characters in. They'll probably be able to, pad it out for like maybe 5 episodes compared to 3. But if they do like straight action, this could easily just be like a solid hour and a half worth of episodes. So I feel like the next 3 or 4, like they'd probably be stretching it to 5 if they wanted to, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because they have like all the kage there joining them and having the third villain, and that could change so many extra dynamics and add new locations and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they padded it out to 5 episodes, but admittedly I wouldn't hate that because I feel like it won't be too much talking. It'll probably be like the tuning exam episode before this, where there was some talking here and there, but it was kind of like the perfect mix of it. And I think this will be even more entertaining because there'll be less characters to talk, so they won't have as many people to jump to, and they'll all be in the same location. So it won't be like this, these 3 people are having one conversation, then there's like 3 or 4 other separate groups talking. It's like there's only 3 villains, there's only like 6 heroes, 7 heroes. So I was like, all right, well, that tends to limit how much talking there can really be. But it's also Naruto, or at least the Naruto universe. So they could talk for like 8 episodes. Who knows? But I am looking forward to the next one. I'm excited to see them go into the new action sequences. I'm excited for the other action. Like the way the movie ends is just insanely spectacular. Like I cannot wait to get to that, and like for people that haven't experienced it yet, I'm curious what some of the comments are going to be, because I watch it on Verve, so I always read the comments for what people are thinking if it's new for them. So can't wait to see what people think about that, because the egg is so freaking insane. It's just ridiculous like how cool it gets in that. But definitely looking forward to the next episode. Of course, though, would love to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And of course, with all the characters going in to rescue Naruto, and they're going into the alternate dimension to take on our 3 villains, I would love to know what heroes you guys want to see fight the most. I would assume with the way they already did like the new battle with Gaara and the other dude whose name I can never remember, but the new Mizukage, I would assume that they're going to probably end up being the last 2 people to go up against like the new villain with like the hook who steals chakra out. So I'm curious how that'll play. But I believe in the ending it's Gaara and Darui who are the 2 going up against them. So it makes sense that might shift up, and they use kind of the ability, you have the guy who can control water be like, all right, well, I'll shoot us out of here on a stream of water or whatever. So you have them fight him. But I'm looking forward to it. Gaara was doing like some Spider-Man stuff. It looked like he was making like sand spider webs, which I just thought looked super cool. So I'm very curious how that technique is supposed to play out. It's like, it's still technically sand. It's not actually going to be sticky, but they made it look like spider web. So I'm like, I wonder how that's going to look. But we'd love to know which characters you guys want to actually see kind of fight up against the villains, even though all the kage are going. I feel like, they're going to pick like the number 1 characters. It's like, all right, everybody loves Gaara, so he has to be one of them that keeps fighting to the end. Based on the ending, like I said, it would probably be Darui. I don't know what they're going to do with the other 2 characters, so we'll see how that plays out. The Mizukage and I can't remember the woman's name either, but the Tsuchikage. The 2 of them, I just can't remember their names. I'm surprised she became such an important character. If I remember right, she introduced in like a filler episode or something, and she became like one of the important characters. It's crazy. But I'm curious how they'll end up fighting. But like I said, definitely want to know what you guys want to see. And like I said, also, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.